Tonight on UCentral News. New today, thousands of Americans woke up this morning to no signal from their cell phones. What's responsible for the outage? TED Talks visited UCO today. What speakers attracted students? We have the full breakdown of TED x UCO. Next, a beloved animated series has received new life. Destiny Pittman is standing by with more information on the live adaptation of The Last Airbender. Over in sports, baseball is set up for a top 10 matchup with an in-conference rival. Ian Nickel has a preview of the Broncos' weekend series against Central Missouri.
Live from Central Oklahoma, this is UCentral News.
Good evening, I'm Georgia Jones.
And I'm Mark Lowe. Welcome to this edition of UCentral News.
Were you somebody who experienced cellular outages today? More than 64,000 AT&T customers reported issues with placing calls, texting, or accessing the internet, according to tracking site Down Detector. Some Verizon and T-Mobile customers have also reported disruption, but both companies say their networks aren't experiencing an outage. It's likely their customers have had issues trying to connect to those on the AT&T networks. An industry source says there's no indication the outage was caused by a cyber attack or other malicious activity. They say it appears to be related to how cellular services hand off calls from one network to the next.
Shanice Hopkins is live with us now with more information about how the outages affected the UCO campus. Shanice?
Thank you, Mark. We went across campus today to see if students were impacted by the outages. Here's what they had to say.
Yeah, whenever I saw my phone, it had like the SOS on where the cellular bar is supposed to be. I was kind of confused because the first thing you do when you drive, right, is you open your Spotify and it was like, oh, you're offline, you know? So I was just checking, and then luckily I was still parked outside my house at the Wi-Fi. So I saw like a couple of our friends were like, oh, is your internet down too? And they said, yeah. But other than that, it was just kind of strange.
But the biggest and worst experience I had this morning was that I couldn't access my due to well. I had an assignment due at 11 that I'd purposed to submit at 10 before class. And because of the situation, I could hardly do that. And thus, I didn't get to submit my work, but my professor was kind on me. And so I believe it's an experience I wouldn't wish on anyone.
Well, I call my parents every morning, and my parents happen to have Androids while I have an iPhone. And I don't know if you know this, but like most iPhones, if you're like communicating with another iPhone, you can still like call and make text messages. But I couldn't get in contact with my parents at all. And it took until about 1:30 before my phone even decided to come back on again. And that was after I restarted it twice, and it just, guess my phone took slower than others, which was kind of irritating because you want to like make calls, and if there was an emergency, I had no way to get in contact with them unless I was on the school Wi-Fi and using like a social media app. At least some kind of like, I know they're outdated, but like a pay phone, or just like a place where there's some like phones that are like physically connected, like back in the old days versus like to the towers. That would have been lovely.
We reached out to the Department of Safety to see if they experienced any challenges caused by the outages, and we will have more information to come. Reporting from campus, Shanice Hopkins.
Thanks for that, Shanice. And looking outside, it is starting to get kind of windy out there. We're now going to go to Gwyneth Duncan for our first look at weather. Gwyneth?
Good afternoon, Broncos. We're going to start off a little bit different today because we had two solar flares occur. One that occurred last night at 6:07 p.m. and then one that occurred early today at 1:32 a.m. Just to put in perspective for you, the sun is about 91 million miles away, so that means it takes about 8 minutes and 20 seconds for protons from the sun to even reach the Earth's atmosphere. So that really just helps you understand how big the sun is and how far away it truly is. To be able to reach us like that is just incredible. And now we're going to go into our weather for today. Looking outside right now, it's about 69 degrees out. With that sun being out, there's no real clouds in the sky today, but it was very windy out. We felt that northwest wind coming in at 15 miles per hour with gusts as high as 29 miles per hour. Our humidity was sitting at 54%, and other than the wind, it felt really nice out today. Looking at our weather headlines, we do have spring-like temperatures ahead for the next couple of days. With those wind gusts being high and that sun being out means that we're going to have those fire weather conditions for these next couple of days. In the future, we are going to have a cold front coming in, and I'll tell you your 7-day forecast and much more later in the show. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you for that, Gwyneth. The death of a non-binary high school student following a fight has members of the community split. Some want more information on what happened, while others are concentrating on mourning the loss while the investigation unfolds. John Hayes has the story.
I just kind of stood back because no matter how I moved, I would have got hit.
Owasso high schooler Shayla Perez is describing the fight the school district says happened in a high school bathroom nearly 2 weeks ago.
I was actually in one of the stalls.
Perez says Nix Benedict was involved in that fight and that this
I'd get slammed into the paper towel dispenser twice, and first it came open and then it came off the hinge on one side.
happened to them just a day before the school district and police released statements that Benedict died. Silence from police and the district until Tuesday, February 20th. 2 statements released. Owasso Public Schools clarifying in its statement that the district was quiet, quote, due to the ongoing investigation in an effort to not disrupt police and out of respect and for the confidentiality for all involved. That statement also laying out a timeline of events the day of the fight to clear up speculation and misinformation. It says the fight was broken up, all students involved were walking when they left the restroom, checked by a nurse, and while all of the injuries were determined to be non-life-threatening, a parent was advised to have their child seen by a doctor.
A few of their hair was messed up, but for the most part, no one really had concerning, super concerning marks or anything. There was a few bruises, maybe.
Including the
From what I
student
could
that
see.
died.
Yes.
But how did Benedict die, and did the fight have anything to do with it?
All of the misinformation, and you hear one thing and then you hear another.
There are 2 questions that have fueled waves of gossip making national headlines. Owasso police say both answers are pending autopsy and toxicology results.
A lot of accusations being made against the district, against the police department, against the media, our role in this. Can you speak to how harmful that might be at the end of the day when it comes to really getting answers here and solving this investigation?
Oh, I think it's very harmful.
Parent Anna Richardson weighing in on how much damage words can do.
It's been very negative, and it makes it harder for them to do their jobs.
She's organizing a vigil for Benedict this weekend in town to mourn. She hopes can get everyone back on the same page.
Coming together as a community and supporting everyone and doing the positive things that we can while we let the professionals do what they need to do.
Police say they'll spend the next 2 weeks interviewing school staff and students. Once that's done, they'll hand the results over to the county's district attorney.
The Oklahoma Senate has passed a House bill that will cut grocery taxes and is now headed to the governor's desk. The Senate voted 42-2 in favor of the bill this morning. The bill will eliminate 4.5% of sales tax on food and food ingredients. Oklahomans will see a cheaper grocery receipt but will still pay local taxes. The tax cut is estimated to save each Oklahoman an average of $104.25 each year. According to Senator Democrat leader Kay Floyd, state Democrats have always supported cutting sales tax and giving relief to hard-working Oklahomans. Floyd also says they will continue to advocate tax reform that benefits those who need it. Senator Julie Daniels says the cut will bring much-needed tax relief to those reeling from inflated prices, and that she is committed to also implementing tax reform, which she believes is important to the prosperity of Oklahomans.
UCO was recently recognized as a Purple Heart University by the Military Order of the Purple Heart. In a ceremony designating the university as a Purple Heart U, UCO President Todd Lamb spoke humbly on the university's commitment to those who have served.
Say how special it is for UCO to host this event and become designated as a Purple Heart campus.
According to a press release from the university, in order to be designated as a Purple Heart University, an institution needs to develop a purposeful approach supporting not only those who are military affiliated, but also those who have sacrificed themselves in some way to defend our nation and earned a Purple Heart. President Lamb emphasized this commitment in his speech, promising to continue supporting all who have served, especially those who earned the Purple Heart.
University of Central Oklahoma's recognition as a Purple Heart University represents UCO's long-standing commitment to serving military-connected faculty, staff, and of course students, specifically those who have been wounded in combat. We do that every day on the campus here at UCO.
UCO hosted their annual TEDx UCO with this year's theme, Beyond the Conversation, Beyond the Surface, Think Beyond. It was an independently organized event with short talks and performances by UCO students, faculty, and staff. The TEDx UCO student organization says its goal is to bring community members and UCO affiliates together to discuss topics like AI, life-changing injuries, discrimination, and balancing life. TED itself is a nonprofit conference that brings together industries around the world. UCO student Augustus Cook talked about his experience before he took the stage for his talk.
Yeah, basically I talked about how to balance your schedule and basically develop a baseline of what you're able to do and fully do well, and then using that as a starting point, so if you do get overwhelmed and get too much stuff going on, you know where to go back to, and then using that to be able to spend more time doing what you really love rather than wasting your own time with time clutter and all those other things, all those other distractions.
Definitely sounds really interesting and like they're having a lot of important conversations. I hadn't heard about this event before, so it sounds really interesting to go out and hear about it.
Yeah, they were here last year, and if I remember right, it was a lot colder around this time last year as compared to now where it's 69 degrees outside. Yeah. Coming up after the break, Gwyneth Duncan will give us our first full look at weather.
To always move forward but never forget where I came from. To value hard work, ingenuity, and hospitality. On one hand, my people are rough and rugged. On the other, refined and elegant. They taught me how to love beautiful things and cherish my past. To seek out adventure, eat well, and to have a good time. So I keep their traditions alive every place I go. They call me Oklahoma City, but you can call me the modern frontier.
UCentral News as a whole, you got to be in those different areas, like being on camera, being off camera, being in the control room. And so I feel like that is what prepared me most about being in the workplace.
UCentral and the mass comm department has provided me all the tools and the fundamentals that are needed in order to thrive well and thrive fast at my job.
Maybe it's time to hit the road and visit a place where stories unfold. This is the land of the ultimate road trip, with sights old and new on Route 66. There's fun to be had, so much to do, and a few new surprises before you get through. Oklahoma has the most miles to share of Route 66. It's really quite rare. TravelOK.com will show you the way. Come see for yourself this iconic highway.
Welcome back, Broncos. And looking outside right now, we're sitting at 69 degrees with those really windy wind coming out from the northwest, sitting as high as 29 miles per hour. So it's really windy out there today. And as we look across the state, we're sitting pretty nice temperatures, 70 degrees down in the bottom half of the state, but we do get pretty cold up in Guyman, sitting at 62 degrees. So it's feeling pretty nice out there, just aside from those winds. As we look into tonight, it's going to be a low of 41 degrees and clear outside, but those winds are not going to leave us tonight. We're going to still feel them with gusts as high as 24 miles per hour coming from the north. So that'll make it feel a lot colder than it actually will be outside tonight. So if you're planning on going out, I recommend wearing a jacket, because across the state, it's going to be similar. It's going to be pretty cold out tonight. So It's going to get as low as 30 degrees up in Guyman, so it's going to be pretty cold. As we look ahead, we do have some spring-like temperatures coming through the next couple of days, but we are going to feel a cold front hit at the beginning of next week. And we do have wind gusts and sunny skies, which does cause that elevated fire risk outside. As we look into tomorrow, it's going to be similar to today. The sun's going to be out all day tomorrow, but those winds are remaining throughout the state. We're going to be in high 60s into the 70s even, but there are some low 60s in Guyman. And then as we look at our daily forecast for Edmond tomorrow at 7 a.m., it's going to be pretty cool. Our sun's going to be out and it's going to be 41 degrees outside. But then as we go into noon, it's going to reach 62 degrees. And that's when the wind's going to really start to hit us a lot more. Those gusts are going to be really high tomorrow, just like they were today, because like I said, that wind is not leaving into tonight. At 7 p.m., it's going to clear out a bit more and it's going to be 60 degrees outside. As we look at our 7-day forecast, tomorrow it's going to be 67 degrees, really windy outside, and then Saturday as well, those winds are just going to keep remaining through, and that's what's really going to cause that fire weather hazard. As we go into next week, Wednesday night, it's going to get as low as 29 degrees. That's that cold front that I've been talking about earlier. So that cold front's really going to affect and impact us as we go throughout the days, but for now, our weekend's looking pretty nice. What do you guys have planned for the weekend?
I know we're having some friends come down from Stillwater, so we'll probably take advantage of all the nice weather and hang out on the porch and stuff. What about you, Martin?
Yeah, it sounds great. I'm actually going back home down to Lawton, so I might hang out with some friends, maybe go hiking in the Wichitas. Should be nice. I'm definitely looking forward to that weekend weather before that cold front hits.
Absolutely.
Should be good. Thank you for that, Gwyneth. Coming up, a new Avatar television show was released today.
Also, the trailer for a movie starring Zendaya was released. Find out more as Destiny Pittman will have your social media update.
I was raised to believe in the power of possibility, to always move forward but never forget where I came from, to value hard work, ingenuity, and hospitality. On one hand, my people are rough and rugged. On the other, refined and elegant. They taught me how to love beautiful things and cherish my past, to seek out adventure, eat well, and to have a good time. So I keep their traditions alive every place I go. They call me Oklahoma City, but you can call me the modern frontier.
UCentral News as a whole, you got to be in those different areas, like being on camera, being off camera, being in the control room. And so I feel like that is what prepared me most about being in the workplace.
UCentral and the mass comm department has provided me all the tools and the fundamentals that I needed in order to thrive well and thrive fast at my job.
Maybe it's time to hit the road and visit a place where stories unfold. This is the land of the ultimate road trip, with sights old and new on Route 66. There's fun to be had, so much to do, and a few new surprises before you get through. Oklahoma has the most miles to share of Route 66. It's really quite rare. TravelOK.com will show you the way. Come see for yourself this iconic highway.
Hi, I'm Destiny Pittman, and I'm here to give you your social media update. Today, former talk show host Wendy Williams has been diagnosed with dementia. In a statement today, it was revealed Williams has progressive aphasia and frontotemporal dementia, the same form of dementia Bruce Willis has. In a statement, Williams' team said, the decision to share this news was difficult and made after careful consideration, not only to advocate for understanding and compassion for Wendy, but to raise awareness about aphasia and frontotemporal dementia. And 19 years after its original release, Avatar: The Last Airbender is getting a new life.
Water. Earth. Fire. Air.
Netflix Avatar: The Last Airbender was released today and debuted with a 68% on Rotten Tomatoes. So far, the fan reviews have been mixed. One ex-user shared their opinion saying, "Looking at the clips and reviews for the new Avatar: The Last Airbender show, and man, it looks like it's going to be a critical flop. At least I'll enjoy the whole internet roasting it over the coming days, but I'm really sick of the live-action adaptations." And yesterday, Tyler, the Creator, made an exciting announcement. The announcement wasn't music, but it was a collaboration with Louis Vuitton. The collaboration line will feature clothes, bags, and even a chessboard. The collection will be available March 21st. And lastly, the newest trailer for the Challengers movie starring Zendaya has been released.
You think that tennis is about expressing yourself, doing your thing. You don't know what tennis is.
What is it? Tashi Duncan, she's in another league. You were incredible today. To have a fashion line, a foundation, she's gonna turn a whole family into millionaires. What are you gonna do now?
Unfortunately, my only skill in life is hitting a ball with a racket.
I want you to be my coach. I want you to be my coach.
The movie follows Zendaya's character, a former tennis player turned coach, as she coaches her husband to play against his best friend and her ex-boyfriend. The movie initial release was pushed back last year due to the writer's strike and will now come out on April 26th. And I have been waiting for this movie for such a long time. Mark, Georgia, how are you guys feeling about this upcoming movie?
I am so excited. I'm such a Zendaya fan. I'm also really excited for Dune 2, so lots of good movies are coming out this year.
Yeah, for sure. I've seen that one, I think the trailer once on TikTok, and I love sports movies, so I'll definitely be sure to go to the theaters and give it a shot. Looks great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Destiny. Coming up, the Bronco basketball team has 2 big tests this weekend.
And the Thunder returned for the first time since the All-Star break. All that and more after the break.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Off has to travel east to take on 2.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Happy Thursday, everybody. We apologize for the technical difficulties. We don't got a lot of time left, so let's just jump into it. Leading off, UCO basketball will travel in-state to take on two in-state rivals. Rogers State coming tonight with taking on going to the Claremore Expo Center tonight, and they'll tip off at 5:30 and 7:30. And then on Saturday, they will take on the rival Riverhawks, say that 5 times fast, in Tahlequah at 1:30 and 3:30. All games will be streaming on the MIAA network. And in baseball, your undefeated and 9th-ranked team looks to go get momentum against the defending regular season champion and tournament champion of the MIAA in Central Missouri. The Mules entered this 3-game series as the number 3 team in the nation, and game times are at 3 p.m. on Friday, 2 p.m. Saturday, and 1 p.m. on Sunday. All games are streaming on the MIAA network. Finally, the Oklahoma City Thunder are back in action and have a marquee matchup on their hands in their first game post-All-Star break. The Thunder will take on the Los Angeles Clippers tonight at the Paycom Center. Both teams are linked forever with the trade sending Paul George to the City of Angels in exchange for our MVP candidate, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Former Thunder stars Russell Westbrook and James Harden are both expected to play tonight for the Clippers, and Gordon Hayward and Bismack Biyombo are expected to debut in the Thunder Blue tonight. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. on Valley Sports Oklahoma. And guys, that's all the time I have for sports today. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you for that, Ian. Definitely looking forward to that Thunder matchup. Should be a good one.
Yeah, it should. The Thunder's been doing really well. I attended their game last week, and they're on the up and up.
Exceptionally well. So good luck to them. Thank you for that, Ian. Coming up next, what popular coffee chain added a caffeinated energy drink to its menu?
And Gwyneth Duncan will have your last look at weather.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
The coffee chain Dunkin' Donuts has added a new caffeinated energy drink to its menu called Sparked Energy, coming in Berry Burst and Peach flavors. Dunkin' says the drink is made with vitamins, minerals, and a kick of caffeine. According to Dunkin's website, a large drink has about 192 milligrams of caffeine. It's a lot of caffeine, but I may try one after the show. But unfortunately, that is all the time we have for you guys. But
for now, I'm Mark Lowe.
And I'm Georgia Jones. Have a great evening.